search thrift stores, Goodwills, garage sales, and more for possible treasures. Then I decide whether to purchase or pass. Watch what I do and decide for yourself. Would you buy it? Welcome to a special episode of WyBi, Would You Buy It? This is going to be a top 10 episode of my top 10 best sales. Like everybody else, I have not been able to do garage sales or thrift stores, auctions because of the coronavirus. Kind of getting some withdrawal symptoms. I got the shakes. I haven't been able to get my fix of finding those treasures. So I figured I would kind of go back through some of my sales and find the most, the top 10 sales that I've had recently. A little bit about me. I am a small seller on eBay. I never really am selling more than 50 items at a time. I don't want to pay that 30-cent listing fee. I'm kind of really cheap. I have been selling though for about a little bit over 4 years, tending to focus on vintage toys, games, some electronics and computers and things like that. I will actually be doing 2 other videos, one on just vintage computer best finds and another top 10 like odd fun finds. But this one is going to just be about my top 10 finds over the past 4.5 years, so enjoy. So number 10 on the list was the Toy Master Fireplace, and it was a pretty fantastic find. I found it at a garage sale while I was traveling. It was kind of like an estate sale. They were selling the contents of the house, and it was in the basement. You can see this is by Toy Master. It's electric. It's life-size. It's a fireplace, full-size mantle, simulated logs, and a fire glow effect. That's a lot of information to pack in on one box. I knew instantly that it was like a really fantastic find. It was just really cool. I wasn't sure what it was worth, but I figured it had to be worth something. You can see that it looks nice from the front. It looks pretty solid, but on the back you can see that it is in fact corrugated cardboard. Just a construction from that. So the condition overall is quite nice. Decent condition. You can see on the fireplace there's some wear on the edges of the fireplace. The fire glow effect is from a lamp. It's got that little spindle on it. This little silver fan that I had to fix a fin on spins around from the heat, and it gives off, sort of like the fire glow effect, as they call it. This picture gives a sense of it. It's obviously much more dynamic in real life. I think what helped with the price that I got for it was the fact that it did come in box, and again, the box in decent condition. It came with the directions, which were relatively rough. I have some regret for not keeping it. It's just a real sentimental, nostalgic piece. We really didn't have a room for it in our house, and so I guess it made sense to sell it, and I hope somebody who really loves it has it. I paid about $2 for it, and I sold it for $144, so that was a good purchase. Number 9 is the Tomy Super International Race Set. I bought this on impulse at a garage sale. I did not look it up on eBay. It was in nice shape. The box was in good shape. You kind of makes you think that the seller probably took care of it. It was from Tomy. I love Tomy. The seller said it was complete, and it was. It's a big set. It says 25 feet of track. It's actually set up so that it is supposed to be 4 lanes, and you have 4 cars that can all race at the same time. So it's really, it's impressive. I did end up setting this up in my basement. You can see a picture here, and it's huge. I actually have a video of it in action. I'll put a link below so if you want to check it out. The seller was asking, I think, $25, $30. I offered $10. The husband kind of hesitated, and then he took it, but his wife kind of clearly expressed that she was not happy and that she wanted more. I sold it for $149, so I would dare say she was right. Number 8 is the Green Ghost game by Transagram. I had sold one of these before that was incomplete, and that was $40. This game sells quite well. I am actually not sure what makes it so desirable. I played it with my daughter. It wasn't, particularly fun. This one was overall in very nice condition. It was complete. It even had the feathers, which is relatively rare, and they weren't all falling apart. The box had some browning, but overall it was in great shape. Had nice, clean, bright graphics. I got this at an estate sale where I also got the number 1 item that you're going to see later on in this video, so that was a great sale. I paid $5 for this, and I sold it for $149. Number 7 is a Care Bears lot. There's some finds that just make you smile. I'm a middle-aged man. I did not grow up with Care Bears. I have no nostalgia at all for these, but they were so colorful, they were bright, they were clean, so I bought them without even looking them up on eBay. These are the type of things that if you're not an expert, it's hard to figure them out like on the spot. There's small details like what year were they made, which model number are they, what size are they, that can make a huge difference. And you can have one bear that's worth $1 and one that looks quite similar that's worth $100. And if you're not an expert, you're not going to figure that out. So I did see that they had their tags, which I knew would help. They were clean, they did not smell, which I knew was important. So I did take a chance. I paid $13 and I sold them at auction to some guy from Japan for a very fun $160. So number 6 is a Garbage Pail Kids lot. I bought these at a garage sale. I wasn't sure if they would be worth anything. Most times actually they're not. But I got lucky because these were from series 1 and 2, which are the earliest series and which are worth the most. You'll see I listed these as no duplicates on eBay, even though it looks like there's lots of duplicates. But there are actually differences. For instance, if you take a look at 47A, it's Disgustin' Justin. 47B is Vile Kyle, even though the pictures look the same. The backs also are sometimes different on otherwise similar stickers. And there's other variations in color, and especially things like matte versus glossy finish, which definitely matter to some collectors. At the end of the day, though, the reason this lot sold for decent money was because of how many cards were from Series 1. I even had 1A and 1B, which are the most valuable cards that can easily sell for about $70. The next card that I have in this series, which is 4B, will be lucky to sell for $10 or so. So there's really a steep drop off after that. And after series 2, the cards don't seem to be worth much at all. I could have potentially cherry picked the best ones and sold them separately, but I did decide to sell them as one big lot. I paid $7 and I sold them for $174. So number 5 is Teddy Ruxpin. In case you don't know, Teddy is a friendly robot in the shape of a bear. You put a cassette, which is of course sold separately, and a player in his back. You press play and his eyes and his mouth move in that kind of slightly creepy way as he talks and he reads the book to you. At the time, it was really revolutionary. It's highly advanced, real high-tech toy. I purchased this at a garage sale. He was working. A lot of times they do not. He had 5 books. They were all clean. There was no writing, no ripped pages. The 3 cassettes worked. There's a few little extra odds and ends which were nice to have for a collector. I paid $5, and this sold for a total of $175. So number 4 was a Super Scope 8-track recorder player from Marantz. I got this at an auction. It's the kind of type where you have to write in your bid. I had looked it up while I was there. I saw that it could easily be worth $100. I had made the first initial bid of $3. I was waiting for it to get bid up, and it never did. I guess most people assume that an 8-track player is not going to be worth that much, and truth be told, I'm not sure why it was worth as much as it was. It's from Marantz, which is a good company. It did work. It had kind of cool VU meters, but I paid $3 and sold it for $250. Number 3 is a mega, and I do mean mega lot of vintage Pokemon stuff. I had bought 3 of those kind of random plastic bags full of stuff for a total of $18 from Goodwill. Primarily because I had saw that there's some Legos in there's Transformers, some Pokemon and other odds and ends stuff. But the real moneymaker from those bags was definitely the Pokemon stuff. When I started to sort through it, initially I said, look at that big Ash figure. There's this fighting arena, a Pokédex, the mini playset, and those super cool little figures. I thought those would be worth the most, but they weren't. This lot was all about the small plastic figures. There's apparently some really hardcore collectors of this stuff. This was another lot I had to work hard to figure out, to see what it was worth. It seems like a lot of the collectability of these figures depends on like some of the writing on the back, and people collect certain types. I could have sold these pieces figure by figure. I just don't have the patience to list and ship everything separately, so I did sell it as a big lot. I had before that separated out the non-Pokemon stuff, Transformers, and some other stuff. And I sold those in like 3 or 4 different lots, and together with the Pokemon stuff, that sold for $363. But this Pokemon lot by itself, which I paid approximately $10 for, sold for a total of $295. So number 2 is the Tuesday Taylor Penthouse apartment, and it probably has to be my favorite thing on this list. At the time that I got it, it was the 3rd month of my selling on eBay. It was by far my biggest sale. It definitely helped me get addicted to that process of hunting for and digging up treasures. This set is from the 70s. Tuesday Taylor was Ideal's answer to Barbie. I'd never heard of it actually when I saw it, and I saw it of all places at a Goodwill outlet. If you're not familiar, Goodwill outlet is where Goodwill rejects go to die. so it's generally not a place where you find anything great. But I was rooting through one of the huge blue bins. I saw the box kind of half ripped open. Stuff was, spilling out all over the place. I spent probably literally 15 to 20 minutes finding the various parts and pieces that had scattered all over the bin. The kicker is I'm sure I left stuff there because I didn't know exactly what I was looking for. When I took it up to pay, I was not happy because it was going to cost me $12. You pay by the pound at the outlet, and I was not super excited about that. I actually seriously thought about putting it back. But I had spent so much time doing it. After a little bit back and forth, I did decide to buy it. And I'm so glad I did. I just love this thing. Again, you got to just check out the shack carpeting. There's a picture of a dreamy boyfriend. And it's really kind of hard to see, but they have a TV in there. And so, there's some marketing genius who's like, hey, what are we going to put on the TV screen? We're marketing this to 10-year-old girls. So what do you think? Should we put, a picture of cute boys on the TV? Funny cartoons, maybe some rock and roll, hunks. No, let's go with professional bowlers. And that's what they did. There's a little sticker of professional bowlers on the TV. And I just love that, there was a time in this country that bowling was the answer. So I think that's so fantastic. It was just delightful to see that. I love this penthouse. I would live there. The view, there's a closet, there's a makeup area that every girl dreams about. It's fantastic. So I put this thing up for auction at $150, and I did get some bids, but about halfway through, someone actually took the buy it now price, which made me think that I might have underpriced it. But I turned my $12 purchase into $295, and so that was pretty awesome. And so my number one top sale is the Marx Sears / Allstate Service Garage. I got this at the same estate sale that I got that Green Ghost game that I showed you. Again, I love Marx toys. They're classic. They're really good quality toys. This is a classic tin toy. Overall, it's really in decent condition. There's definitely some area of wear. There's some rust, but considering its age, it really does have pretty nice, clean, bright graphics. Has some unstuck stickers, which was cool. The directions were included. There was unfortunately no box. I love the plastic accessories. The gas pumps are so cool. The sign, the display case for selling like the batteries and the tires and oil, kind of takes you back to the 50s, and that's not even a time I ever lived in. So the kicker is I put this thing up for sale at auction starting at $195, and it got no bids. So I lowered the starting bid to $145, and 11 bids later, it sold for $338. So, you kind of got to pity the fool who paid that $338, who a week earlier could have gotten it for a mere $195. So this is definitely my top sale. All right, well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave any suggestions or comments below. Again, look for those other two videos, top 10 vintage computer sales I've had, and also top 10 kind of fun, wacky, odd finds. Please consider subscribing. Stay safe, and I hope we can all get out there when things get better.